Welcome to Scene, where the art world meets the real world. Every 2 weeks, we sit down with emerging and established artists to offer a genuine glimpse into their lives and minds, all in an authentic and totally straightforward manner. I'm Carrie Scott, your host. And with 2 decades of experience as a curator and art historian, I firmly believe in the transformative power of art, if it's seen. Welcome to another edition of Have You Seen? Suzannah Sinclair. I first came across Suzannah Sinclair 20 some odd years ago, and she was one of the hottest artists around. She was making these paintings on wood, and they were kind of Playboy pinups, and they felt risky, and they called into question all the things that we, as kind of young women operating the world, were taught to question. They were objectifying women, and this was this like cool young female artist doing that, and she somehow made it okay, but it was complicated, and my relationship with the work was complicated. I was seduced by the wood. I was seduced kind of by the paintings themselves, and I loved the women in these works. Suzannah and I lost touch over the years for a number of reasons. The balancing act of motherhood, of surviving, probably got in our way. And so this is a 2-part conversation where we catch up and then we talk about where Suzannah is now. And what I love about her and what I loved about her then is her unflinching honesty. She's not scared to tell any of us exactly how it is. She's funny, she's vulnerable, she's hurt, she's had dreams squashed, she's had dreams realized, and she tells us all of it. Being an artist isn't easy. Being an artist is super hard, and Suzannah owns that. This is not just the icing on the cake. This is the whole story broken down for all of you in 2 parts that maybe we'll smush together and make 1 part, and you'll just hear me say part 2. I don't know how this is going to be edited in the end, but I'm excited for you to listen and to discover Suzannah Sinclair's work. Suzannah Sinclair, we are on round 2 here.
We made it.
We made it, but we're on round 2 of Gremlins again.
Shorter span.
Shorter span Gremlins, but also weird synchronicity in that you decided to destroy your studio today, and I decided to destroy the old home office.
Oh yeah, always.
What's with us?
I don't know. It's
weird.
just like, yeah, it's like that energy and timing of like, I have 15 minutes. Shall I just scroll on Instagram or should I take apart a bookshelf?
Which is more productive?
I think I did both actually.
Did you?
Yeah. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I did not. I've just ripped apart literally the entire office, and it's now giving me the heebie-jeebies, and I'm like, I don't have time to fix this today.
Yeah. Well, it looks good behind you.
We like this
clean.
week. Except for there's that plug. Oh God, and there's another thing. That plug. I hate that plug.
Yeah.
Wall socket. It's no fun. And as to, yeah, don't look too closely. I'll just sit that way. But if I sit that way, then you can see all the mess over here. I mean,
Yeah, it's like mysterious behind you.
but we are not here to talk about the mess, or maybe we are here to talk about the
Who
mess.
knows?
Who
It
knows?
is a mess. Life's messy.
What we didn't do last time and what we must do this time is
Just
talk is what?
Get to your questions.
Is get to some of my questions. Let's get to
Yeah.
some of my questions.
Yeah.
First being like, what's going on now? We went down memory lane.
We did. That was wild. And like I went for like a long walk after our last talk. I literally walked down to the pond I can see from my studio. I was just like, and it was like snowing, and I listened to music really loud, and I was like, it took a while to get the energy kind of like out of my system. But so that brings us to present day, April 2025. And I'm in my studio. It's in my house. I'm painting. I don't make a lot of paintings for lots of reasons, but mostly because like there's like I have so many paintings and my studio is like 5 feet no, 10 feet by like I measured it once for my taxes. I think it's technically 10 by 12, so I could get the write-off for the home office. But, with the flat file and yeah, it's a small studio, and it's just, like, busting at the seams with work from my entire career. So, it's kinda hard to produce a lot when, like, everything's still here, or it
Mm,
goes away and it comes back, like, that corner over there is, like, painting sent back from LA, and this is from some other show. I don't even open them because 'cause they're just, like, safer. If they're damaged, they're damaged, what am I gonna do about it? Like, at least they're not getting dusty in there. So, I'm working on a book. I started, a publishing imprint. I don't know what to call it, like a company. It's like me and some collaborators, but it's called Sinclair's Garage. I started 2019, and it's artist books, and they're produced in open edition. So basically, think of printed matter in New York. Our specifications for an artist book is like what they would accept and sell at printed matter. 'Cause that was just, like, my dream is to have, like, a book at Printed Matter. Open editions. Did I talk about this at all last time?
well,
Oh,
not for a second.
no. So, okay. So, the 20-year plus whatever career, now, I don't have representation anymore. I'm making work. It's maybe not, like, the hot thing that people were, like, really into in like 2008, 2009. And I just am trying to figure out like where I want the work to be seen and enjoyed and how I want it to interact with the world. And I know a ton of just amazing artists. We're obviously going through the same thing, but
Mhm,
maybe they are still in that undiscovered phase, but they're, my age, and, it's really hard to, like, make the work, live your life, and then be like, "Oh, I have to have a website, and I have to apply to grants, and I have to apply to residencies that I never get into," and that makes me feel bad and get into, like, depression for a little bit, and then, a book would be nice, but who's gonna do it? And I don't know how to do it. So, I had all those roller coaster feelings, and I was, like, trying to find my community, and it's hard because of isolation of being in rural Maine, but also just, like, I have kind of always felt like not in one circle, just kinda, like, bouncing around, like, known but unknown, liked but, unliked. Um, so I'm actually pretty good at administrative stuff because when I'm procrastinating in the studio, I just, like, work on my CV, work on my bio, work on my artist statement, like, I apply to things 2 or 3 times a year, and so that keeps my stuff pretty current. I really enjoy editing. My husband's a scientist, and so I like editing his fish science reports and stuff like that.
what you offered to edit our crazy
Yeah.
ass
Oh,
work.
I would. Like, I love editing. Like, it's just so I'm fascinated by words and how people's minds work and like why the language and get rid of that, get rid of this, be more confident. It's not a question, it's a command, that kind of stuff. So a lot of like voice stuff is what I think one of my strengths is. So I made Sinclair's Garage, and I've produced one artist book for my friend Jesse Littlefield. He's a friend of mine from way back in the Boston days. Y2K, and he's an amazing painter who does a lot of, process printmaking in his works, and he's in Portland, Maine, and he has a secret Instagram account that's photos that's just for friends and family, and it's just, like, interesting observations about Maine and just life in general, and so that's what his book is. So, his book is photographs and, but he's a painter, so I also like this idea of, we're just not all one thing or, like, the thing that, like, we fill in the box, like, "I am a painter." We're all, like, do everything, you know? I mean, try to meet a human that doesn't do photography, you know what I mean? I wouldn't call myself a photographer, but all of these paintings are from my photographs. And yeah, so I like that. And I have a website. We sell them for like 15 bucks. And then the artist can pick a cause to do a $5 add to cart. Jesse picked Main access points, so it's, naloxone and, different types of clinics and around Maine and, rural Maine, especially Maine is really hit hard, and so it's a way that, like, people couldn't just round up and give us $20, and I Venmo Map $5 and send them a book.
That's awesome.
So, it's not a money making it's not a money-making thing, but I mean, it's a way to help, artists and help my community, and also it's like an excuse for me to talk to artists and do studio visits, and then I also collaborate with a book designer, Jennifer Lepardo, and she's in Maine too, and, so she does the book design, and she did our website and our logo and branding and everything, so that's super fun.
Can I ask you some tricky questions?
Okay.
Like, they're really tricky, and I don't wanna ask them, but I do wanna ask.
Oh, sure.
It's the excuse, right? Or, like, because the camera's rolling, I get
Yeah.
but I think I would ask you this anyway.
Okay.
What it surprises me that you're not this, like, mega, highly sought after art world superstar. It does. It just
Thanks.
surprises me, and I'm not gonna ask you whether it surprises you that you're not either, but
Oh, it does. Of course it does.
does it bother you
Yeah,
that you're yeah, that, like, the
but I
ch
made all these decisions, so let's go through the list. I decided to become an artist. I knew there was, like, no, like, money or, you know, whatever for it. I got early success. I worked with some amazing gallerists and collectors and all this stuff. And everyone told me, "You can't really make a living making art." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try." You know what I mean? So I always had random jobs, like I was an art handler, I sold shoes, I worked sample sales, wedding catering, you name it. I drove a box truck when I first moved to New York City delivering frames. And I've seen other people like take off. And I don't know, it's like I made all these decisions. I moved out of New York and had children. And I had people tell me both of those things were gonna be detrimental to my career, but I was, like, so lonely, so I'd rather have, like, this actual life, but, like, I haven't given up. I'm only 45, but, like, I don't wanna be discovered when I'm 80. Like, I don't wanna be Lois Dodd, like, I do wanna be Lois Dodd, she's amazing, but, and she's someone that, like, I see around in the summer, if I go to the coast and stuff. But I'm ready for, like, a rediscovery, I have the work, like, I have a good set of principles and ethics, and I have supportive friends and my husband and my kids. So, if it happens, it happens, but my definition of success definitely has changed a lot.
Yeah. It
But I'm ready. I sent you the PDFs. I have a ton of work.
I saw the PDFs, they're great.
And there's more to come. Like, I mean, I don't have enough time in my life, like, to even chip away at all the ideas I have. So I take apart bookshelves, because it's like
But I think, right, what the conundrum with you is that this is it feels like what you're saying is really familiar, right? And I've
Yeah, for
seen
sure.
stuff about
It's
it,
not unique.
but it is unique insofar as you were on this trajectory.
Yeah.
Um, and look, some of it is the plight of, I mean, not to put too fine of a point on it, but like, I think having kids does.
100%. People are like okay. I'm sure you've heard this. So, I started splitting my time between New York and Maine when I started dating Steve. And, I'd come up here for 5 weeks and then live in New York and make money, and travel and go to shows and stuff like that for like 2 months and then do the back and forth. And no one ever questioned that I was not an artist anymore. Then I moved to Maine and I was still represented and I had solo shows and interviews and magazines and all this stuff. Got married. No one asked me if I still painted because, you know, I'm still an artist. No one asked me like, "So, you're a housewife now." You know what I mean? Like, "Do you still paint?" Have my first child, still represented, still having solo shows, brought her to Sweden, and that was amazing, but then you start to get this, like, and it was from other women who were creatives. I understand it's the whole grass is greener, but it became like, "Wow, you're so lucky that you get to stay home and be a stay-at-home mom." And I'm like, "Dun, dun, dun!" Like, all of a sudden, I wasn't an artist, I was a stay-at-home mom. And I was like, "Okay, whatever." They're obviously talking about themselves, they feel guilty about working 60-hour work weeks and, who knows? I very much am like, "That's their shit that they're trying to put on me." But it just becomes all you hear. So then I got pregnant with my second. I had my last solo show in Stockholm, and I couldn't go to it because I was, like, 7 months pregnant. And this is, like, 2014, 15, and things are still going great. I have 2 kids, I'm showing, but, like, and then everything just kinda, like, "Toosh," like, came down crashing, like, lost representation. All my work got returned to me. Not all of it. Some of it's still floating out there in the universe, and it's like, yeah, and all of a sudden, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and people are asking me if I still paint. And not just people, curators, gallery owners, friends, artists. "Do you still paint?" I'm like, "What the fuck?" "Yes, I still paint." You know? And it was very hard. It was very hard. 'Cause then you like, I have a huge gap in my CV of, like, and then the pandemic and all that shit, and so I do have a big gap in my CV.
It
Yeah.
wh which, you should, and there should
Right,
be
because it's
a way,
fucking life. Yeah.
right? Like,
But I was still making work, you know?
exactly. Um,
But, you just it is a market, and you are a commodity as an artist, and you produce a product that has a price. And you're a risk. You're a risk when you're a woman because your work is not going to be worth as much. You're a risk when you paint on paper because drawings and paperworks are less valuable than canvases. You're a risk when you use like watercolor and egg tempera because it's like, not as serious as like oils. And even though this acrylic nonsense is, I don't know, I've got thoughts. Um, you're a risk. So people are hiding their money, buying their work. Some people buy my paintings to actually hang in their homes, which is so lovely. But, I know my paintings are in storage. And I've had a bunch of works come up at auction in Sweden, um, Bukowski's. So, and, it's just, I'm aware of the, the, what I'm risky.
hmm. But it is like a tale as old as time, right? Or not, maybe it's
Yeah.
as old as we've been allowed to function in society.
Yeah.
Um, and you think about, like you were just saying it, and I was thinking about Louise Bourgeois and Philida Barlow and Tony LaSalle and these women who, like, fine, Louise
Mm.
had huge success, but it was at the end of her life,
Yeah.
right? And this middle part was she was not allowed to be part of the marketplace.
Right.
Um, and I think that, yeah, it still astonishes me. And the same would be true for what went on here, right? For me. Um,
Yeah.
it's not just an artist thing. It's not just
No, it's not, you
it's just
know.
everywhere.
And I love to just like thumb my nose at it. It's like my feelings get hurt, and then I start to doubt my relevancy. And then I just say, fuck that. And I gave away a shit ton of paintings. Um, this was when I was getting the claustrophobia of having all of this work in my studio. And I started to try to do like studio sales, but my prices were pretty high. I've actually lowered all my prices because like real people are buying my work now, not just like robber barons. So, um, but I've been called a painter's painter. I think I am kind of an artist. And so I did a lot of trades, and it just made me so happy to and some of this was the rare work, my wooden ladies. Um, yeah, I just sent it all out and got a bunch of awesome art in return.
Do you still love making?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I mean, it's so it's so awful. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just a way that I, like, deal with life and communicate, and, like, I just like to challenge myself and be better at anything, and this is just always the way that I've been able to, like, really I love music, but I can't really play an instrument. My voice is karaoke, but I love to write, but I have a hard time getting into that headspace. Um, painting is like it is my talent.
Mm.
So I gotta just kinda, like, keep it up.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's a long, windy road, I was gonna swear, right? And in the scheme
Yeah,
of, as you just said, you're only 45 and
yeah.
you're lucky, and I said this to a client, like, 2 years ago who was lamenting turning 40, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
"What's are you crazy? Like, y think about the next 40 years if you're lucky."
Yeah.
Or and, like, reflecting on the last 40 years is, from 0 to 10, you were an amoeba, basically.
Mhm.
From
Yeah.
10 to 20, you were, like, figuring out who you were. From 20 to 30, you were just so excited that you weren't under your parents' rule that you were like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
30 to 40, you kind of knew who you were, but basically from 40 on, or in my case, 30 to 40 was, like, the kids, the family, the whatever.
Right. Yep.
Now I'm like, there's a road ahead here."
Yeah. Nothing but me and my you know, the stuff I wanna do, and that's where, like, the book publishing comes in and, you know, I curated a show a couple years ago, and I wanna do it again. It's really hard and difficult. Artists are so difficult to work with.
You said it, not me.
I said it, and you get, like, a couple gems where you're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you for the Google folder with all of the stuff I asked for." But then everything else is kinda like chaos, but it's a good kind of chaos. Um, but yeah, like, I don't have to, like, wait for to be asked. I'll just start to do all of the stuff. But, I'm open to anything, and yeah, I just wanna show, I'd love to travel. That was my favorite part. Um, I loved painting in the studio. I had a great studio mate, in Brooklyn, David Kennedy Cutler. He just has a huge show right now at Derek Eller, right? I think so, yeah. And, but I loved traveling. I got to go so many places with my paintings and eat fun foods and meet weird people and, you know, go out. You know,
Do do things.
do
Ex
things, people, things, food. I like all that stuff. Um, but yeah, I'd like to do that again.
I think you should. I
Yeah.
was, someone was talking to me about where talent, I'm gonna butcher this badly,
Mm.
but we're gonna do it anyway. Where the word talent comes from, and it's something to do with the Greek gods, and he had 2 kids,
Mhm.
he gave them talents, and back then it was, currency, and one of them
Oh, yeah.
buried all his talents. He wouldn't give any away, and so he died poor and alone, and the other one, he gave away all his talents, and then he got more talents. Basically a message to, like, not bury
Yeah.
your talents, really simple
Yeah.
one, but hell, like, I as you were saying, I gave away some paintings, and I traded them, and I got some other things, and, like, isn't that really the
It
point?
was really freeing because, like, what it's so simple, and I'm sure you tell artists this, like, where do you see your stuff and, like, why? Like, I want my stuff in public spaces that anyone can come in and see, so that could be like an art center, a gallery. I get that by appointment only thing stuff, but, like, ideally, there would be hours published online so anyone could, like, figure out how to get to said space. I want that, and then I want the book thing, so these works, the Willy Wags, they're gonna be in the next publication Sinclair's Garage does, so that's my works. So I have 16 right now. I'm gonna try to ask some of my collaborators, the other artists and the book designer, if they should all be in or if anyone needs to get edited out, but,
Why
so
are they
hope
called willy wags?
because that's what I call where I live. So when I first started coming up here, I called it northern Maine. It is not northern Maine. There's like a whole county above us. Like it takes like another 3 or 4 hours to drive to the top of Maine. And so then I started calling it central Maine, but that didn't seem right either. People just like it's like the weather. People really correct you on like the semantics of like place and rural places. And so some people call it the Maine Woods, and that feels like very branded. And North Woods, I don't like that. And then people just, middle of nowhere, people say, and it hurts my feelings. And then like there's all these like sayings for what the the woods, the rural, can't get there from here. And I heard Willy Wags, and I think it's in a Stephen King book because it's not a cliche. Stephen King's writings are so spot on for not just rural Maine, like everything. And yeah, I just started calling it the Willy Wags where I lived because, it's out here, but it's like, no, we don't need to be like put down or like um also, like, how I mentioned, like, Skowhegan is, like, an hour and a half south of me, and, like, through social media, when the summer comes and artists go to Skowhegan or they go to the Mid-Coast and they're like, it's that kind of, cultural tourism, like, slumming almost, where they'll take a picture of something beautiful, and they're like, "Can you believe this is in the middle of nowhere?" And I'm like, "That's, like, down the street from my house." Like, there's this meeting house in Solon, Maine, and Solon is where I don't know if I should say that, but is where a great artist lives and a bunch of other artists, and, just like the way Lincolnville had, like, Slab City Rendezvous, where Alex Katz and Red Grooms and
Mm.
all those artists, have houses or had houses. Very similar vibe. And, like, I understand that feeling when you're, like, young and living in a city and you're all of a sudden you're in, like, a rural place and it's, like, rubbernecking and things seem ironic. And I'm sure I was like that when I first moved here, but I'm not anymore, and it's just I think there needs to be more acceptance of, suburban, urban, rural, like, lives.
So that whole body of work is about that.
Yes. I'm like, "How did we start down this road?" Yes, so that's Willy Wags. So, before I even thought of the book, I started just using that as a hashtag because before I started doing these personal paintings, I had taken the figure out of the painting and I was doing interiors. So, it was still Playboys, but it was the rooms without the woman, without the model. And then from there, I was doing, like, fruit, flowers. There was something else. Women, fruit, and flowers. So that was like so I was trying to categorize them with hashtag just to, like, try to organize these different I don't know, bodies or avenues, pathways, whatever you wanna call it. Um, but when I started to do these personal works, which also happened when during that 5-year span of, like, no shows, no sales, no, just rejection after rejection from, like, every residency you can think of, um, open calls, stuff like that. I was like, "What if I never sell a painting for the rest of my life? Like, let's be dramatic. Like, what then? Am I gonna stop painting? No, but I'm not gonna make 2 3-foot tall wood you know what I mean, where am I gonna put them all? I don't want to be suffocated physically by my own, productivity. So I was like, "Okay, I'm painting small egg tempera, that works, I can find ways to live with that." Like, what kinda artwork like, if this work besides giving it away to people, which I do, and, like, if you get married or buy a house or something like that. Um, I guess I'll just paint my own photos and my own life because I could look at these little moments of my own life and my family. I could do that. I could live the rest of my life surrounded by these works. You know, even if they never left. Hopefully they will leave, but, I'm not trying to keep them. I'm not being possessive of them. Some have left and came back, in group shows. There's a lot of cool artist run spaces, um, in New England.
I said, "Oh man," the way I said, "Oh man," I think because, like, the bigger mission here
Yes,
is to figure out why artists do this thing that is
right.
incredibly hard, because it is
Yeah,
incredibly hard, right? Even for the best, um,
yeah. I think
or
there's lots of reasons.
forget the word the best, right? Even for the ones that end up with the most financial success,
Right.
it is not, you are not going to a job
No.
that rewards you for sitting for 8 hours a day. It's a really
Yeah.
difficult choice that gets made over and over and over. Um, and you've said it in so many different ways. Like you said initially that it's just part of your existence, right? That
Mhm.
like you'd make this is how you communicate, this is how you process.
Yeah, it's and coping. It's a coping mechanism, you know? I'm not compulsive the way I know a lot of great artists who are like, they're compulsive with their hands and the need to make and draw and scribble and scratch. And that's not me. I'm like a notebook person. I just fill up legal pads and steno pads of like words and thoughts and then I execute because I mean I'm a printmaker. I just I write and then I think and then I say what's the best way to get what I think I want it to look like and then I execute it. Um yeah, I mean I don't think I could stop. That would be so sad. I think I would really not be happy. But I do stop. I mean, I go months without painting, but I don't go a day without scribbling something down. Or, I'm constantly making these playlists on Spotify that I love to do.
We
So
all need access to those.
yeah. And that's another thing where it's like, oh, I would love to be a DJ for like my entire life, not like at a club, like scratching and mixing and though I love to, like, dance and make people dance. More like a radio, like a college radio. Like, I would love that.
Me
But
too.
instead of doing that, I'm on, like, number 70 something. I make these playlists on Spotify called Maine Woods Mood Swings.
What?
Yeah, King Susie, that's my DJ name. King Susie, Suzy. Bam, 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 bam. She's like a dub, like King Tubby, but like King Susie. Um One
And
of
sorry, and the
my
playlists for Maine Woods what?
mood swings,
Yes.
because it's all over the place,
Oh,
and it's
yes.
very seasonal, like, um, yeah, so that's one way that I mean, I'm always doing something,
I
but
feel
I would
like
yeah.
it's all gonna end up converging and like a giant show that
Oh,
has
that would be so cool.
music
Well,
blast.
and, like, the whole exhibition design, have we talked about that?
Mhm.
Um, I love exhibition design, like, I'm obsessed with So one of the reasons why the Farnsworth is one of my favorite museums and the Algonquin Museum of American Art, also in Maine, is just like I love a good experience, like a good entrance, like
Yes.
landscaping, lovely person, easy, like, welcoming you. and, welcoming my children and not making us feel not welcome. Little gift shop that sells, like, postcards, and I like a little cafe. Those places don't have cafes, that's more European. I love, like, a good museum cafe, like, at the Louisiana. That's,
Oh,
like, my favorite museum in the world.
yeah,
Um,
most people. I mean, anyone that's been there.
that is, like, the best experience. Like, I could still feel, like, the humidity of
There.
the air.
Yeah.
Ugh, but, yeah, I love exhibition design. I love, um making the space somewhere that people wanna just hang out and, they could just talk to their friends, or they could stare at a painting. So, usually when I do have a solo show, I manipulate the space and with interior design, like rugs and benches and plants and, mirrors and stuff like that.
And music or no music?
I've only once. I would love to do music. You remember, when Karen was at Klim I always butcher her name, Klimnik? Is that how you say her name? 303 Gallery, she does it's kinda like Elizabeth Peyton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Karen, I know who you mean.
it's like Kimili, like, there's a lot of I's and L's and M's. But, yeah, I think she still shows with 303 Gallery, which is, like, one of my favorite galleries, who also shows Tim Gardner, he's one of my favorite artists.
And Marilyn Minter, who feels like an
Oh,
OVA.
yeah.
Wow.
Yes, yes, for sure. Um, but once she was in the Whitney, and she had the biannual, and she had a little room, and there was a chandelier and her little paintings in the room. It was probably when you were living there too. I think I was living there at the time, and the Beach Boys were playing. I think, like, "Wouldn't it be nice if," but it was kinda like, "Wah," like, distorted. Like, I love that, like, "What the fuck?" Like, am I hearing that? Like, am I in a dream?
We're gonna end up having to do part 3 because I did my master's in sound art
Oh, really?
because I was interested in how sound affects the way you see because it obviously does.
Yeah.
And because I was interested in why we had, like, another term for another thing, and why wasn't it just installation art or
Mm,
multimedia?
yeah.
Why did it have to be sound art? And, like, is
Why?
Markley a sound artist, and is Rodney Graham a sound
Oh
artist, or
god.
are they something else?
I love Rodney Graham.
Oh,
Mhm.
do you wanna know what one of my I don't have many regrets in life, but, this is one of them. I had an opportunity to meet him,
Mm,
and we were at, like, a teeny tiny small party, and I'm not shy, like, let's come on.
mm.
Uh, and I couldn't. I was like, "I can't talk to him."
I think it's fine
I
because
like
I have met some of my art idols and been very disappointed.
sad. Yeah.
So,
I watched him perform, that was really fun, and I was there.
yeah,
I couldn't speak to him. But now he's not here, and I'm
I
mad,
know.
'cause if I had started seeing earlier, maybe I would've
Didn't he show at 303?
probably.
Yeah,
303 is a great
great gallery.
gallery. 303 should pick you up.
Well, started by an artist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
there you go.
Listen, on that happy note, I'm well aware that we're at 40 minutes
Oh,
or
yeah.
more. Sorry, audience. And as it's part 2, I'm gonna let you go, but, uh, you're awesome, and your work is awesome,
Thanks.
and you're maybe just having I don't know, it's just a momentary pause while the world figures out what it's doing.
Yeah, and hopefully people can relate to this and it doesn't sound like a pity
Doesn't
party.
it
Like,
doesn't
yeah, don't be bitter, be better. But like, bitterness is, you need that. It's like one of like the five umami senses, isn't it?
but also we came
Let's
up
be
with
sweet, salty, bitter,
all the things
all the things.
all the things at the same time. We also like your willy wags.
Mm.
The fact that we came up with this "Middle of Nowhere is Somewhere," I mean, that's a Bon Iver song, like,
Oh God, I know. And I just started to watch, was it Somebody Somewhere, that Bridget Everett, HBO show? Oh, yeah, you should. I just watched a couple episodes last night. It's so good. She's hilarious. I love her so much, and her
Um,
singing.
but that's what I was gonna say is that I think your work is a bit like a really good song.
Yeah, I do relate
It's universal.
mostly to music, and lyrics,
Me too.
because it's just about, like, trying to evoke emotion, but also to record a time and a place. So,
Mm. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna steal all this for my intro.
Oh, I didn't write anything.
Uh, it's good. It's really good. Thank you so much
Oh,
for
thank
doing
you
this
so
for me.
much. I really appreciate this.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you too.
Thanks for the PDF. Send me more.
All
Uh,
right.
and then when this goes live, I'll blast everyone with them. So stay tuned, people. You'll get access.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Carrie.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Scene Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I'd love it if you subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want to connect with us between episodes, follow us on Instagram at WatchSceneArt. I'm Carrie Scott, and I'll see you next time. Get it?